I'm Larry Keat, and this is 1 in a Million.
We all have a story to be told. We are all different, young and old. Some are bound for glory, while others want to try. Every road is different, and there's a million stars up in the sky. One in a million. You're just one in a million. It's the story of the life and times of people all across this land.
Coming up, the dying art of trick roping.
They'll remember you more when you goof up than they will if you're perfect. If they're perfect, they'll remember you for that day. But if you goofed up really bad on something, they'll remember you a year later, 2 years later.
The heavy metal art of Brad Smith. And we drop in on the best fishing hole in Saskatchewan.
Just to see the joy in the kids, you know, and the smile on their faces when he catches a fish, you know, everybody is happy.
Welcome to the show. Our first story is about a man from Grenfell who is single-handedly trying to revive the dying art of trick roping.
Oh, I just lost my balance there.
Ever since he was a kid, Scott Argue has wanted to be a trick roper.
I really thought it was something. Well, it was the first time I ever saw trick roping when I saw it on Roy Rogers. I thought, gee, that's neat. I didn't believe it that somebody could do that with a rope, because I'd never seen it. You know, I'd seen people like rope cattle and that, but I'd never seen anybody do that with a rope. I didn't even know, and I thought, well, there must be a trick to it.
Scott soon found out the biggest trick to this act was to work hard and practice day and night.
Let's make it flatter. Ah, got me. Oh, girl, I'd like to try that again, because...
Today, Scott is the only professional trick roper in Saskatchewan, and one of the few in Canada. He's been roping for 25 years, but like any seasoned performer, he's always striving to perfect his act.
Because people they'll remember you more when you goof up than they will if you're perfect. If they're perfect, they'll remember you for that day. But if you goofed up really bad on something, they'll remember you a year later, 2 years later.
Trick roping has virtually disappeared as a form of entertainment. But the only place you can still see it is at a few rodeos and horse shows. But that wasn't always the case. Performers like Scott were extremely popular back in the 20s and 30s. "70 years ago, trick roping was so popular, movies were being made about it, including one called The Ropin' Fool, featuring cowboy philosopher Will Rogers. The film made good use of a new special effect called slow motion photography. Watching films like this helps Scott learn how to do new tricks. It's one of the few training films available to him. He'll often go from watching this to trying it out in his own backyard.
Yo. Oh, still didn't catch right.
Scott's wife Laura is part of his act and helps him out with his tricks. This is one of the most difficult acts he does. The idea is to rope a galloping horse.
There we go. I missed the horse's head there.
While Scott makes this trick look easy, it can be dangerous at times for the rider and the roper.
Yeah, I've even had horses hit me. You know, you'll be spinning and the rider can't control them and the horse will duck into you and knock you over. You're laying there with your loop ready to catch him and the horse ducks into you and knocks you over, you know. It'll happen, you know, that... Aw, just when everything was going perfect.
Scott says the key to doing well in this sport is to stay loose.
There's no use getting tense, because if you get tense, you'll rope worse. It's like anything, you know. You got to relax and enjoy, and try and be enjoying it, because if you don't, that's when you will make mistakes. You know, it's just one jump through. Here we go. There. That's how it's supposed to work. Come on, down. Come on, down, 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 down. That's a girl.
Despite all the effort he's put into learning tricks and training his horse, the bottom line is there's little demand for his act.
We should do it with that breast going on. Come on, down, 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 down. That's a girl. That's a girl.
And Scott doesn't see much of a future in trick roping.
Oh, I don't see any, and no, I don't see. I've talked to some contractors, and they say, oh, just hang on there. These acts are going to come back and strong. You know, they've told me this, but I don't really believe it, you know, myself, because it doesn't seem to be getting any better to me. You want to work today? Hey, did I rope very good? No, I didn't do a very good job. Oh, okay. Can you do better? Come on. Can you do better? Come on. Come on. Can you do better? Yes. Yes. Come on. Yes. Yeah, you can do better, can't you?
Scott figures he's one of the last trick ropers. Even when he lands a job, the most he can expect to earn is a couple $100s. As much as he loves doing this, he could never afford to give up his day job with the Department of Highways.
And nobody wants to spend half their life or more than half their life at learning something like that where you're not going to make any return out of it. There's no endorsements or any way to make any money, any decent money with it. So a lot of people are not going to spend, you know, that much time on something like that. It takes a long time to learn it, really, to perfect it.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Broadview's 10th Annual Jackpot Rodeo. So everybody sit back, leave your troubles at home, and enjoy rodeo.
It's at small-town rodeos like this one in Broadview where Scott can find the rare chance to perform.
Strain on that riding arm. Garrett in a little trouble, bucked off.
He's usually on near the end of the program, tucked in between the barrel racing and the bull riding.
Scott Argue has performed in North Platte, Nebraska, in the Rose Bowl, Pasadena, California, Japan, Singapore, the Middle East, and Kuwait.
Scott has had to learn how to perform in front of an audience. Being in the spotlight isn't why he does this.
When I started, I never did it to perform. I just did it because I wanted to do it. And then it just came from there, like the performing end of it. I didn't do it to really do it in front of people, just my own enjoyment when I first started. And then it just went from there, you know, like, because you got to work somewhere.
In addition to the pressures of performing in front of an expectant crowd, Scott faces a constant battle with the elements.
Especially if I work a place and it's outdoors and it's windy and you start looking at the weather and you start getting nervous because you figure, uh-oh, that darn wind, you know, I don't know if I'm going to be able to rope decent today. And then if you do, you know, you have bad weather where it's windy or the wind's out of control on you, you just can't do anything about it. You just, like, one guy I worked for one time, he just told me, you just go on with it. Whatever happens, that's the way you plan it. You know.
When big rodeos like the Calgary Stampede bring in trick ropers, they're usually from the United States, and that's a sore point with Scott.
That's what they'll do. They'll hire someone from down there, well, it just starves you to death, eh? And what I'm trying to work on, I haven't started it yet, but I'm going to work on trying to get a sponsor, like a big sponsor, and see if I can get them to sponsor me.
Scott and his family have accepted the fact they'll never make a lot of money at trick roping, but nonetheless, it will continue to be a big part of their lives.
Rodeo is our life, basically. When we take holidays, it's to go to rodeos, you know.
You never get rich. You know, all it is a great experience.